Well, good. Well, I guess we'll get started, and then if people join in, great. But hi, I'm Jenny Duncan. I've been a realtor for 15 years. I've been with KW for 10, and I'm honored and grateful to talk about winterizing your business today. Hopefully, I can add some value. Every year we go into the off season with some uncertainty, and this year's no exception. I think, overall, we know real estate volume has been down 18 to 40%, depending on the market that we're in, and everything we think that we know about real estate seems to change. I remember doing trend graphics a couple of years ago and saying with certainty what to expect over the season. And then now I just say, I don't know. Like, I really just don't know if anything COVID's taught us. It's kind of hard to know the trends. But what I do know is it's a great time to be in real estate. I know many are doom and gloom, but I absolutely love this new market. I love that a home is on for more than one day before it's gone and you get to get out and see it. I love that it's a skill game. And so you really need to know your scripts and your competition. I love that you get to invest more time with your people. And there's still emotion, but there's not near as much emotion as there was in the past with that intense market. So the market is thinning a little. We were super agent heavy, and I like the fact that the people that want to invest and learn and grow are in real estate. And those who thought of it more as a hobby, they're starting to see their way out. So I think we should choose to focus on the positive. And let's be the good that we want to see because it really is contagious. So I want to first give props to Jose. Jose Medina, one of our fearless leaders, put a quick video out through Powered by Impact on winterizing your business. And I used his talk as a guideline, basically. So again, I've been a realtor for 15 years. And the thing that works best for me in my business, and when people ask what the secret is, it's just truly not reinventing the wheel. It's learning from the best and then applying it to your life and letting other people's failures be a lesson to us or to me, so that way I can learn through them. So that has been my huge secret to success, is just kind of copying what other people do. It's called working smarter, not harder. And I have a very heavy personal life, 5 kids. I serve on a nonprofit board with Habitat for Humanity. I'm involved with leadership in Medina County. I teach classes all over. I'm immensely involved in my church, and I host events on the regular. So when I'm doing real estate business, I need to be focused and work smart. That's just super important to me. So way I do that, I've attended probably 7 family reunions now, 50 plus classes. I literally traveled all over the country to take certain classes that were applicable to me and my business at the time. So super important. And then Zoom and obviously these online classes are really helpful. And I learn from the best, and then I implement them into my business. So this class is no exception. I'm copying some of Jose's outline. But 3 things to do to winterize your business. And I would love it as people hop on. If you have questions, to just interact. I think it's way more fun that way. So questions or an idea you have, please hop on. But we hear all the time, number one thing, check your P&L. We keep hearing that. So the number one thing to do to winterize your business would be scrutinize your expenses and time. First out of 3, scrutinize your expenses and time. Check your P&L. Where's your money going? Know your numbers. We've all heard this. And honestly, when it's busy, like in the middle of a spring market, or when you just personally have a lot going on, it doesn't always happen. You kind of could be in survival mode just to return all of the phone calls. And looking at the P&L may or may not happen, or you might not even have a P&L. Right? But wherever you're at in that, this is the time to really sit and look at your numbers. The end of the year, the beginning of the year, we're approaching a slower season for the most part. So look and see, where is your money going? Have you wasted it? Review all of your lead sources. If you're paying for leads, is it profitable? What about a desk fee? Are you actually using it, or is it just sitting there? Maybe an app that you downloaded and you forgot about it. You know, are you really getting the benefit from that? Look at your marketing expenses. Are you getting a return? You know, if you do a billboard or a shopping cart ad or a golf magazine, we get all these calls for marketing all the time. If you said yes, is there a return on your investment for the expenses that you're putting out? And then also, this really includes people. So maybe you have maybe you're a single agent, you're not investing in an admin, or maybe you have an admin or a transaction coordinator. Are you using them to the fullest? So obviously the first question is, can you justify their salary? If right now it's a slower season, and before you just say, okay, it's not a good time, what can you use them? And then can you use them in a different way, a different leverage? Are there some things that they haven't been doing for you and that maybe now you can put on their plate during a slower season? For me, my absolute biggest game changer in my whole career was when I was able to get a phone line that my team could answer. And I know a lot of us realtors, we have a cell phone and we say we're available 24/7, and you die a slow death when that phone rings all the time. So that was a game changer for me. What can some of those people in your life do that could also help leverage a little bit? And are you getting a return of investment in the people that you're pouring into, right? What about gift giving? Are you giving a $30 custom sign at the end of a transaction, or are you giving them a $100 Home Depot gift card? And can you write it off? If something has our logo on it, if it's marketable, it's a marketing expense. So really looking at those expenses that we give out, or gifts that we give out, what does that look like? The big thing would be team expense, maybe meal expenses. So maybe you're not taking a team out, but you're taking clients out, or you're writing everything off as a business expense because you mentioned real estate at dinner with your husband or spouse. That's great, but before you grab the check, can you afford it? So that's something that you're really looking at when you're scrutinizing your expenses and your time. Taxes. Man, I hate that word. I hate taxes, but this is the time that we only have a couple of weeks left to really look at how we can take full advantage of the tax deductions this year. So if there's a large purchase maybe that you've been thinking about making and putting off, if you have the funds, do it now, because obviously it'll be tax deductible. Did you reimburse yourself for mileage? Did you put your kids on payroll, if you have any, that you could take advantage of that tax deduction? Did you pay into an HSA plan? I know that's big for me because I'm independent contractor, and I can deduct from my business my health insurance and then also that HSA plan. So now's a great opportunity to look at that if you haven't yet. One thing though that now is not the right time to do is try something new. Once you're starting to get into those winter months, which tend to be a little bit slower, see what works, stick to the basics, and do what you know, and it'll get you through those winter months. And just know what you're good at. If you haven't figured that out yet, talk to other people, because a lot of times they have a good insight into your life of what they think you do well, and then how you can use that in your business. But if you know what you do well, just keep doing it and do it at a high level throughout the winter months. Part of looking at your expenses, of course, professional, but also personal. So obviously we're talking business, but as you go into the winter, how much money do you really have to spend on Christmas? Do you have enough money to buy those Christmas gifts? What about going out to eat throughout the holidays? Do you have enough money to get that covered, and that will sustain you when the first quarter tends to be a little bit slower? So just look back and evaluate and see where your money has been going, and then make sure you set enough money aside for the slower season. Up markets conceal and down markets reveal. So yes, we talked about expenses, but really do a time evaluation. Have you figured out how much your dollar per hour is? I did this exercise, maybe 10 years ago for the first time, and then a couple of times since. And every time I'm going, wow, like I really have to evaluate my time when I realize how much money I could be making when I'm focusing on things that are important. So are you spending time cleaning your house when you could be lead generating, or going on listing appointments? Are you spending time sitting at a 3-hour home inspection when you could be out showing more properties and leveraging that to a newer agent or someone that would really appreciate that extra income to sit at that home inspection? things for your business, your marketing time that, like for me, oh my gosh, it could take me forever to come up with some marketing things. I'm not super creative, but I could leverage that off to someone else, and my dollar per hour can be used a lot more effectively in another area. Do you do the thing? So when you're looking over all of 2023, were there certain things with your time that you intended to do and you just didn't get around to doing? Maybe that is starting a healthy workout routine. Maybe that's taking your parents out to lunch once a month, or spending time with people that you really love. Maybe that was a business venture that you wanted to do, or that investment property you wanted to purchase. Did you make the time to do it in 2023? So evaluate your time and see where it's going. And then if the answer is no to some of those questions, then maybe things like, why not? Have I binge watched way too many Netflix shows? Am I not waking up with enough time or going to bed with enough time? Have I spent a lot of time running errands that maybe I could streamline and do online instead? Big game changer for me is Instacart. I no longer go to the grocery store. I just put everything in a cart and swing by and pick it up or have it delivered. Total game changer with my time. So are there ways that you can use your time more effectively? And then a big part is the people that you hang out with, and you're giving them your time. Okay. So if you're giving them your time, are you growing? Are you becoming a better person? Does iron sharpen iron? Are you making each other better? And if the answer is yes, how can you spend more time with these people in 2024? How can you help each other be better versions of themselves? If the answer is no, well, then who do you want to invest in, right? What can you do with your time that you have to invest in people, and how can you make that different in 2024? So again, the first thing in winterizing your business is to scrutinize your expenses and your time. Any questions out there? Okay. The second thing is to have a plan for 2024. So we're scrutinizing, and now we're having a plan for 2024. Goal setting. If you have not already attended a goal setting workshop, watch it online. It really is a game changer. Again, 15 years in the business, I have taken a goal setting class every single year. And even though by now I could probably teach it, it makes me slow and do the work. And it's a game changer when you can look at all of your goals and what you have done to accomplish them and where you're lagging. It's pretty important. And it's crucial to know what your goals are for the year ahead, so you know your numbers and you plan on how to get there. How many people are in your database? And is it up to date? It's pretty important. Winter, when it's slower, is a good time to check that database. And if there's not enough people in there to hit the goals that you want, well, how are you going to find those people? How are you going to add them? Are you going to host open houses? Do you have numbers to call for expireds and FSBOs? That's the biggest thing when I was a new agent, is everybody said, well, you got to call expireds and FSBOs. Yeah, but like, how do you get the numbers? Do you have a plan to get that information? Because it's out there. So setting that plan for 2024 is going to be pretty important. Do you have a plan for how to save for your taxes? So it's a big part of all of this in your savings. Do you have the right scripts, right? And if so, do you know them? So it's one thing to say, I know where they're at and I can go to the website and download it. It's another to say, I have practiced it and I feel prepared for the right opportunity when I can use the script. So if you can say yes to that, woohoo, keep practicing. If you can say no, well, plan to find a partner. When are you going to meet with that person? What are you guys going to do? And really the winter is the best time to sharpen your skills, because in my experience, the spring market comes quickly. It's kind of quiet. And then all of a sudden, like 6 people say, I want to buy a house or I want to sell a house all at one time. And you're rushing. And it would be really difficult at that point to implement script and role play if you haven't been doing it on the off season. When you're planning, what's your marketing? What are you going to do with your marketing? I send out a quarterly newsletter along with a personal email and video. I do anniversary cards and a bomb video. So for every person on their anniversary date, I send them a bomb, says, happy anniversary. Can you believe it's been so many years? And I have a funny story. Last week, I was sitting in a house getting a carpet estimate for clients. And there was a lady upstairs that was measuring and I was doing my bonbon videos for my anniversary. And she came down and said, so I'm sorry to pry, and I don't mean to be rude, but like we're in a vacant house and I can hear you talking. Did you really just wish someone a happy 10-year anniversary from the time they bought their house? And I said, yeah, it's been a decade. She said, you keep in touch with people for 10 years? I can't even remember my realtor's name. I want to work with you. I want to work with you. I need your card, because if you remember me in 10 years, you're a person that I want to know. And I thought that was so funny, but there's truth to that, right? People want to be known and heard and seen. So do you have a plan in 2024 of who you're going to contact and when? Stock up on your listing presentations and your buyer presentations. Great time to, first of all, you have to update them. So do they have all your old numbers? Get ready for the new numbers to put in your production for the year. Once you update them, print them in mass. I go into the office, I print 5, 10, 20 at a time, and put my folders together and have my calendar in there and have my business card ready to go. So when I get a listing appointment or a new buyer appointment, I'm ready. It cuts out all that time of having to put it together. So now's the time where you can kind of stack up on those things. Do your listings have shoe covers and a plan for snow removal? A lot of our listings are vacant now, and unexpectedly, when we get that foot of snow, there's nothing worse than tracking through 2 feet of snow to show a house. And that's the first impression on your listing. So do you have your shovel in your car? Which this is awful and I hate winter. So I wish we weren't talking about this, but do you have the shovel in your car? Do you have the towel for when your feet are soaking wet? Do you have that mat so you can put your shoes down if you need to leave them there? Are you prepared for the winter? Do you have your car scraper out, your hand warmers? What about, game changer for me, I learned this, an electric heater to plug in to a super cold house if you're in it for a long time. Like those inspections for vacant properties, I cannot feel my toes by the end of my few hours. So I just have a little electric heater in the trunk of my car, or for an open house that doesn't have utilities on, but you still want to hold it open. So getting your car prepared for the winter months in Cleveland is pretty great. So the second thing in our talk is, do you have a plan for 2024? 1, scrutinize your finances and your time. 2, do you have a plan for 2024? And our last top point would be invest time in your key people. And your key people could look differently for everybody, but the market really is filled with uncertainty. And if you're feeling it, so are they. So reassure your team, if you have one, that you're in this together, that you have a plan, that you're investing in them, right? That you value them and that you want to hear from them. So just investing in the people that you work with. If you're not on a team, those in your real estate office, that your friends, other realtors, like, hey, we got this. This is going to be the best year yet. We're excited. We're ready for it, right? What about your key referrals? Do you know how many referrals you've gotten this year, and from whom? And if so, send them a personal gift, especially this time of year. A phone call that says, hey man, do you know you gave me 3 referrals this year? I appreciate you. That means so much to me. And you can depending on your finances, a phone call and $5 bucket of popcorn is pretty memorable. You can send them a gift card. You can take them out to dinner, whatever you want to do or can afford to do. But recognizing those referrals throughout the year is pretty priceless. So those people have invested in you. You invest back in them. Be sure to tell them thanks. What about those lender referrals? If you've got some lenders or an inspector or an attorney, appraiser, somebody that's given you business, recognize it. Like they've done that, but they also would like that in return when you have those business to business referrals, but thank them. Make sure you're investing in your key people. What about past clients in your sphere? People that are just super important to you, that you want them to know that they're important to you. Now's such a great time, a nice Christmas gift, Hanukkah, a New Year card is easy, because if you don't know somebody's religion, or just Happy New Year is a great way to do that. I send out Christmas cards with a calendar and then an ornament for every person that purchased that year. And so not every person, because this year I think I had 60, but I will go to some and put that ornament right on their Christmas tree. Oh, I want to see your Christmas tree. I just wanted to say hello and drop that ornament off. And it's very memorable. So do you have a plan of how to invest in your key people? And I would say another thing would be in January, ask people that sold if they would like their Alta statement for their taxes. So it's a great way to connect with them, to be that person that's kind of ahead of the game. They probably haven't thought about it yet, but they're thinking about their taxes. So it's a good, reminder to get in there and that you're the professional that's always ready. And I would kind of follow up by saying, if you do these things, which there was a lot, and I'm sure there's so many more that I haven't even touched on, and everybody's business is different. So something that I might do may or may not work for somebody else's business. The most important thing is to do them. And like now, it's December 14th. So within the next week or so, and then truly enjoy Christmas guilt free. We want to be able to enjoy time with our family, to enjoy time with our friends, and not feel like I should have made this phone call. I haven't hit my numbers this week. Allow yourself vacation time to really sit back and enjoy and embrace it. Of course, you have to answer your phone call your phone if it rings. Of course, you're going to show that property if somebody wants to see it or leverage it to somebody else. But don't spend the holidays feeling like I haven't done enough real estate. Just enjoy it, because January is going to be here soon enough and you can get on the horn and pick up with all of these things. So spend time with your family, spend time with the people you love, and invest time in your key people. So those are my 3 things that I would recommend to winterize your business. Anybody have anything to add or questions? Quick power up. Okay.
Yeah, it was great information. I appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure. Good. Well, my number 330-241-3723. If anybody have questions, feel free to call me. I'd be happy to chat about all the things we talked about today.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Happy holidays.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.